Everybody wants to see Boots against a real opponent. Vergil, you're peaked right now. You're the best option to make us, to let us figure out all the answers that we want to know about Boots Ennis. And you're going to go say about Earl Spence and somebody else? We don't want to hear that. I definitely don't want to hear that. You told us on national TV after the fight that you wanted to do exactly what that man said. That man told you, well, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see you do nothing else right now. You can come back and go to Earl later. You can come back and go to Crawford later if Crawford chooses to do that. But what I want to see right now is the two best dream middleweights on the horizon fight. It's two undefeated guys who are equal. Don't run from that smoke, bruh. Don't run from that smoke. Let's make that happen.
I don't think you want to fight right now. I don't think you, because I'm looking at all the stuff coming up on the Instagram and all that stuff. Like you want to fight Spence. Spence, what did he say? He want to fight Spence. He didn't want to fight Boots at that time. So I don't know what they're doing. I mean, I just hope they make the fight. That's all I can say.
Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. unleashes a fiery challenge, demanding that Vergil Ortiz step up and stop Boots Ennis to prove he is the real deal. However, Robert Garcia dismisses the suggestion that Ortiz would avoid a fight with Ennis. He describes Ortiz as a fearless competitor who has consistently shown a willingness to face the toughest opposition available.
Not gonna nobody. Virgil's the biggest hard fighter. You know, when it comes to fighting, he wants to fight everybody. He's not gonna get anybody. He lives, you know, but Vergil also knows that he has Golden Boot Promotions. He has Rick Marigan, who is his manager, to make those decisions. You know, once they see what's out there, they come to us, to me, to his father, and we make a decision what's best for us.
Moreover, Robert Garcia sees qualities in Ortiz that could create serious problems for Ennis. He highlights Ortiz's power and offensive mindset as the reasons he gives Ortiz a real chance against Ennis.
100% agree with Vergil. I think if Vergil is able to, you know, fight Boots and we were able to get those punches, I think it's over. I think Vergil is not going to hold back. Vergil has great, insane power at 154. So I think Vergil will finish.
Despite that, Roy Jones Jr. argues that Ennis's occasional mistakes stem from his willingness to showcase his complete skill set rather than from any defensive weakness. He believes Ennis has the ring IQ and defensive ability to remain disciplined whenever the challenge requires it.
Bag full of stuff, you trying to put all your stuff on the table. Sometimes it's gonna happen because you got so much stuff you throwing on the table. Sometimes it's gonna happen, and that's what Boots was doing. He got so much stuff to throw on the table. Sometimes it's gonna happen. So when we got so much stuff to go through, that's gonna happen sometimes. And he's one of those guys. He got so much to throw on the table that sometimes stuff gonna happen because he got. If he didn't have that, if he was just I'm gonna do it this way type guy, he could play that safe game and not get it because he got that in him too. He can go in and feel his do what he want to do. He slips, he bobs, he does it all. He has great defense when he wants to use it. So it's like, I don't think it's a problem that got to be fixed. I think he just got to make sure he stays mentally intact, because I think it's fixed already. When he fought, like I said, Leon is the guy that nobody else...
Building on that point, Roy Jones Jr. suggests a showdown with Ortiz would demand Ennis's complete focus from the opening bell. He believes Ortiz's relentless pressure would force Ennis to remain sharp throughout the fight, keeping him mentally engaged from start to finish.
Ortiz in front of him, and watch he don't go to sleep. Watch he don't go to sleep against Vergil Ortiz. Because he goes to sleep against Vergil Ortiz, Vergil gonna show up, come at him. I guarantee you, put somebody like that in front of him, I bet he won't go to sleep. And I put what they want to put on it. I guarantee he won't go to sleep. Now he might not win, but he won't because he went to sleep. He won't go to sleep.
Not everyone shares that view, however. Timothy Bradley rejects the idea that Ortiz was avoiding Ennis. Instead, he believes Ortiz genuinely wanted the fight, but missed a chance that could have significantly changed his standing in the division.
It wasn't. No, I think Vergil just as cray-cray as Boots. He want to fight. There's no doubt in my mind he wants to fight, because he wants to prove not only to himself, but to people like me and everyone else that doubts him. I know he wants to fight, but you sitting on the sideline and you critiquing another fighter when you could have had a possibility. You should have fought him. You could have fought him, and then you would be in a different position right now. You'll be sitting pretty right now the way Boots is sitting pretty right now.
Beyond the controversy, Sergio Mora considers Ennis and Vergil Ortiz Jr. to be exceptionally well matched. He expects their offensive styles and willingness to exchange to produce constant momentum shifts, with each fighter capable of changing the fight instantly. For Mora, that level of uncertainty makes this one of the toughest matchups in boxing to predict.
strongest fights in boxing against two power punchers that are susceptible defensively because they're so front foot. They go for the knockout. When you have knockout punchers, you're bound to get touched. The difference is Boots rolls with the shots. He takes a little bit of the steam off the shots. He knows how to use his long frame and still dig to the body. Vergil, on the other hand, he'll get up after getting dropped, shake his head, and put it in another gear, in a meaner gear. That can work against a mean fighter like Vergil and run into shots, especially if you're buzzed. So when it does happen, hold on. It's gonna be explosive. Someone's gonna get knocked out. And I always pick a side, right, Mannix? I always say, oh, well, this guy's gonna be the favorite. That's a legitimate 50.
Similarly, Sean Zittel views Ortiz as one of the most dangerous opponents Ennis could face at 154 pounds. He believes Ortiz's combination punching, hand speed, and aggressive style would force Ennis into intense exchanges rather than a tactical battle. In Zittel's view, those qualities make the matchup one of the most exciting fights the division has to offer.
His velocity, but he does bring really good punching velocity, aka speed, and he's an incredible combination puncher. And he's not going to make the mistake of what you're saying of trying to outbox Vergil or Jaron Ennis. He's going to make it a firefight and go blow for blow. And oh my God, on paper, what a fight that should play out to be. And he has more firepower than Xander Zayas. And he's meaner and more ferocious than Xander Zayas, whose advantage over Ortiz is supposed to be his boxing acumen and a little bit more versatility to moving around the ring and all that. But Ortiz has an excellent jab, an excellent double jab, very fast hands that can challenge the hand speed in the exchanges of Jaron Ennis, and power that can challenge the punching power of Jaron Ennis in those vicious exchanges that are sure to break out. And before I get to the other guy who had a...
Chris Algieri feels Ennis cannot afford the same defensive lapses against dangerous punchers like Ortiz or Fundora. He explains that the outcome could be very different against opponents with far greater power, though he also notes that Ennis may approach those fights more cautiously from the opening bell. Even so, Algieri believes Ennis still leaves enough openings to make those potential matchups highly competitive.
It makes you think, if Boots has that third round with a guy like Vergil Ortiz or Sebastian Fundora, do we have a different outcome? It's very possible, because Xander's not a puncher, and those guys are. So, I don't know. Because you never know. Because sometimes with a fighter, if they don't feel they're in danger, or they don't feel like a guy can hurt them, they'll fight a little differently. Does he fight a different fight if he fights those guys where he feels that power early on? You never know. You never know, because on fight night under those lights, everything's different. But I think with Boots, even in this fight, there's just enough defensive flaws that you're like, somebody's got a shot. We can get this fight. So it makes it entertaining.
From a technical standpoint, Teddy Atlas believes a clash between Ennis and Ortiz would feature two confident fighters with a willingness to test one another in every area of the game. He also argues that Ortiz has expanded his skill set, showing he can adapt when a fight does not unfold on his preferred terms. For Atlas, that continued evolution makes the matchup even more competitive and unpredictable.
It could be a phone booth fight. Two good body punches. Two confident guys, two guys with great heart. Look, I say this, Vergil showed me a few fights ago that he had a dimension I didn't know he had. When he was just, going through guys, knocking them out with body shots, sinking and destroying. I don't think I knew or anyone knew that he had the ability to use his legs and box and do some boxing. He showed me that dimension.
Adding to that, Sean Porter views Ennis's versatility as giving him a clear stylistic advantage over Ortiz. He argues that Ennis can vary his tempo, attack from different angles, and switch seamlessly between styles without sacrificing effectiveness. For Porter, that adaptability makes Ennis far more difficult to solve inside the ring.
The way that Boots uses his speed is different from the way that Ortiz. I think Ortiz has the call on his speed. You know what I mean by that?
No.
So what I mean by call on his speed, like you have guys who are just fluidly boom, 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 boom. And then you got other guys like Ortiz, fights with a lot of power, but now I gotta pull back on his power and set you up with the speed. Like he has to be intentional and be selective with what he chooses to punch with. And on the other side, Boots is like like water, man. He goes from the speed to the power. He goes from the left to the right.
The leverage,
he
all
goes,
over the place.
he switch hits, you know.
Athletic.
Yeah.
Moreover, Sean Porter expects both fighters to stay true to their instincts despite the stakes. He believes neither Ennis nor Ortiz is likely to abandon the aggressive mindset that has brought them success. For Porter, that unwavering confidence is exactly what could make the matchup so unpredictable.
Kid is still gonna be relentless.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna respect Boots Ennis, but he's still gonna be him.
Yeah.
He's still dumb enough, stupid enough, young enough, immature enough to be him and not know no better.
And they both are.
And then Boots, is just hard-headed, Philly.
My shit work. My shit work.
Exactly.
Looking ahead to a potential matchup, Breadman expects Ennis to have the tools to beat Ortiz, but would need a smarter approach than in some of his previous fights. He points to Ennis's ability to fight from range as a key advantage, though he thinks Ennis will eventually trade at close range, where Ortiz is at his most dangerous. Even so, Breadman still predicts Ennis earns a stoppage, but he also sees Ortiz making the fight last longer and forcing Ennis to be more cautious during the exchanges.
Boots to use his jab more against Vergil, and I think that fight goes a little bit longer. And I think that Vergil really doesn't have really long arms. He's about, they say he's 5'10", but he's more like about 5'9". Doesn't really have long arms, but he throws some murder hooks and uppercuts, but he keeps his hands up and in. I think Boots will have an advantage with him with being able to jab him. But you know how Boots is. Boots is going to start mixing it up with him at some point and believe that he's the big dog in the fight, which he could be. You know what I mean? But you would have to see. I will pick Boots to beat Vergil, but I think he will have to be a little bit more careful with the exchanges. But I think he knocks both off. I think he stops both, but I think they're just different kind of fights. I think the Vergil fight goes longer. I think the Fundora fight, with their kind of styles and the way that Boots will have to fight him, I think it's an early.
Breaking down the matchup, Breadman believed Jaron Ennis would have to be ready for Vergil Ortiz Jr.'s explosive offense and non-stop pressure. He felt Boots had the defensive ability to deal with Ortiz's attacks, but needed to stay sharp and avoid mistakes. While acknowledging Ortiz's power and skill, Breadman leaned toward Ennis because he believed the weaknesses shown in the Bohachuk fight could be exploited.
To adjust from a guy that's getting off right from the point of attack. I think he can. He knows how to hold his hands up. He just has to, his dad shoots him out, so he just has to, listen a little bit, and I think he'll be okay. But that's a little adjustment that he will have to make, because Vergil gets off from the high guard, and they're not light punches. He's ripping them. Vergil's a talented dude, man. I like Vergil. But the Bohachuk fight is why I would pick Boots, to be honest with you. That's why I would pick Boots in the fight, because I think Bohachuk is an excellent guy, but I think that he had too much success against Vergil for Vergil